In this tutorial, we're now going to code the app so it actually does what we want it to. So by telling it to move and to set scores. Now for this, the first thing we're going to do is create two procedures, which are ways of telling the app what to do without having to repeat code over and over again, and something called a variable, which is going to be a holding place for the score. Now first of all, we go to our block editor, and we have to add in two procedures. So we click on the procedure button here, and drag over the top one, so to procedure do. We need two of those. Bring it over. Now the first one we're going to rename as move mole. The second procedure we're going to rename as update score. Okay, so the first thing we do is we're going to set up the moving the mole situation. Now to do this, we need to tell the app the X position, the Y position on the axis of the app of where the mole has got to move to. So to start with, we click on image sprite 1. We need to scroll down and find these two options here that are at the bottom. So set image sprite 1.x and set image sprite 1.y. I'm going to click and drag those over. Now this is going to allow us to set the Y and the X axis of the mole. Now the next thing we do is to drag across a maths component. Now for this we need the multiplication component of the maths component there. Now we need one for each of the Y and the X axis, so you can just duplicate that and add it in. Now first thing we're going to do is tell it to set a random fraction. Now this is something the app is going to do and we don't control, so we can't actually figure out where the mole is going to be. It's going to do it by random. For this we go back to the math section, scroll down and find random fraction. Now we need one of those for both the X and the Y axis. The next step is going to be actually telling it to figure out where the mole is on the canvas. So the first thing we're going to do is go back to math again, and you'll need a subtraction block. I'm going to put that inside here. Okay. Now I understand that this is a lot to do in an app, so if you need to, please pause this video so you can actually catch up if I'm going too fast for you. Now the first thing we do is, now we've got this bit in, we need to tell it to look for the canvas width and then the actual width of where our image sprite is. So for this we go to canvas 1, we scroll down until we find canvas 1.width. This should be towards the bottom. Here we go. We drag that in. Now we need one of those again for both the X and the Y axis. Now this is where these two are going to be a little bit different, because this one has to be width and this one has to be height. So this time we go to image sprite. For the top one we need width. The bottom one we need height. There we have it. Okay. If you need to, take a moment, pause the video to actually complete this. Now the next thing we're going to do is tell it to update the score. Now what this is going to do is actually alter the text that's in label 1 for us. So first thing we do is click on label 1. We need to find set label 1.text, which is here. Okay, this is going to change the text in that label for us. Now we're going to need to join two sections of text together. Okay, for this we're going to need to click on the text section here. Now we need to scroll down, scroll up and find the option called join. Now this is going to join the text where it says score and the actual score that we've got. So we go back onto text again, scroll right to the very top and find the blank box option there. We join that to the top of the join box. Now in this, we want just to write in the word score and a colon. Okay? Now the bottom bit, we're actually going to join in what the score actually is. Now for that, we need to create something called a variable. Okay? Now the next thing we do is actually go to the variables section here. And we want to initialize a global variable and we're going to give it a name. Okay? So the name we're going to give this is going to be score. Now we're going to set this to 0 straight away because this will load the moment the program starts. So for that we go to math, scroll right to the top and select this option here and click it in. That's now set our score to 0 when the game starts. We now need to add this variable to our update score procedure. So we go back to variables, we select get, and then there's a drop down list by the side of it, and we add that to the procedure called update score. Now it's set to blank at the moment, but if you click on the drop down box, you'll now see you've got a variable called global score. And there you have it. We've set up the basic variables and procedures we need for this app. Follow the next tutorial to see about actually what to do when the mole has been touched.